You shall not lie with a male, as one lies with a female. It is an abomination. If there is a man who lies with a male, as those who lie with a woman, both of them have committed a detestable act. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood guiltiness is upon them. There are 6 things which the Lord hates, yes, 7 which are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that run rapidly to evil. And he said to them, You are those who justify yourselves in the sight of men, but God knows your hearts, for that which is highly esteemed among men is detestable in the sight of God. So if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings should ever be eaten on the 3rd day, he who offers it will not be accepted, and it will not be reckoned to his benefit. It shall be an offensive thing, and the person who eats it will bear his own iniquity. Forces from him will arise, desecrate the sanctuary fortress, and do away with the regular sacrifice, and they will set up the abomination of desolation. And nothing unclean, and no one who practices abomination and lying shall ever come into it, but only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life. You shall not sacrifice to the Lord your God an ox, or a sheep which has a blemish, or any defect, for that is a detestable thing to the Lord your God. Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, and after Milcom, the detestable idol of the Ammonites. From the time that the regular sacrifice is abolished, and the abomination of desolation is set up, there will be 1,290 days. A woman shall not wear man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing, for whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal faithfully are his delight. So they served him by himself, and then by themselves, and the Egyptians who ate with him by themselves, because the Egyptians could not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is loathsome to the Egyptians. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. And he will make a firm covenant with the many for 1 week, but in the middle of the week he will put a stop to sacrifice and grain offering, and on the wing of abominations will come one who makes desolate, even until a complete destruction, one that is decreed, is poured out on the one who makes desolate. You shall not round off the side growth of your heads, nor harm the edges of your beard. You shall say, Your servants have been keepers of livestock from our youth even until now, both we and our fathers, that you may live in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is loathsome to the Egyptians. Desire realized is sweet to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to turn away from evil. Bring your worthless offerings no longer. Incense is an abomination to me. New moon and Sabbath, the calling of assemblies. I cannot endure iniquity and the solemn assembly. When anyone touches anything unclean, whether human uncleanness, or an unclean animal, or any unclean detestable thing, and eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which belong to the Lord, that person shall be cut off from his people. You shall not bring the hire of a harlot, or the wages of a dog into the house of the Lord your God for any votive offering. For both of these are an abomination to the Lord your God. There were also male cult prostitutes in the land. They did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord dispossessed before the sons of Israel. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation which was spoken of through Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, but when you see the abomination of desolation standing where it should not be, then those who are in Judea must flee to the mountains. An unjust man is abominable to the righteous, and he who is upright in the way is abominable to the wicked. All the winged insects that walk on all fours are detestable to you. But all other winged insects which are four-footed are detestable to you. Now every swarming thing that swarms on the earth is detestable, not to be eaten. Whatever crawls on its belly, and whatever walks on all fours, whatever has many feet, in respect to every swarming thing that swarms on the earth, you shall not eat them, for they are detestable. Those who sanctify and purify themselves to go to the gardens, following one in the center, who eat swine's flesh, detestable things, and mice, will come to an end altogether, declares the Lord. Cursed is the man who makes an idol, or a molten image, an abomination to the Lord, the work of the hands of the craftsman, and sets it up in secret, and all the people shall answer, and say, Amen. The high places which were before Jerusalem, which were on the right of the mount of destruction which Solomon the king of Israel had built for Ashtoreth the abomination of the Sidonians, and for Chemosh the abomination of Moab, and for Milcom the abomination of the sons of Ammon, the king defiled. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. No one recalls, nor is there knowledge or understanding to say, I have burned half of it in the fire, and also have baked bread over its coals. I roast meat and eat it, then I make the rest of it into an abomination. I fall down before a block of wood. They built the high places of Baal that are in the valley of Ben Hinnom to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire to Melech, which I had not commanded them, nor had it entered my mind, that they should do this abomination, to cause Judah to sin. One has committed abomination with his neighbor's wife, and another has lewdly defiled his daughter-in-law, and another in you has humbled his sister, his father's daughter. For the devious are an abomination to the Lord, but he is intimate with the upright. The perverse in heart are an abomination to the Lord, but the blameless in their walk are his delight. If there is a girl who is a virgin engaged to a man, and another man finds her in the city and lies with her, then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city, and you shall stone them to death, the girl, because she did not cry out in the city, and the man, because he has violated his neighbor's wife. Thus you shall purge the evil from among you, and that you may tell in the hearing of your son and of your grandson how I made a mockery of the Egyptians, and how I performed my signs among them, that you may know that I am the Lord. You shall not behave thus toward the Lord your God, for every abominable act which the Lord hates they have done for their gods, for they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their gods. These, moreover, you shall detest among the birds. They are abhorrent, not to be eaten, the eagle and the vulture, and the buzzard. But Moses said, It is not right to do so, for we will sacrifice to the Lord our God what is an abomination to the Egyptians. If we sacrifice what is an abomination to the Egyptians before their eyes, will they not then stone us? If a man sells his daughter as a female slave, she is not to go free, as the male slaves do. Everyone who is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Assuredly, he will not be unpunished. And he was saying, That which proceeds out of the man, that is what defiles the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed the evil thoughts, fornications, thefts, murders, adulteries, deeds of coveting and wickedness, as well as deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride and foolishness. When a man takes a wife and marries her, and it happens that she finds no favor in his eyes, because he has found some indecency in her, and he writes her a certificate of divorce, and puts it in her hand, and sends her out from his house, and she leaves his house, and goes, and becomes another man's wife. And if the latter husband turns against her, and writes her a certificate of divorce, and puts it in her hand, and sends her out of his house, or if the latter husband dies, who took her to be his wife, were they ashamed because of the abomination they have done? They were not even ashamed at all. They did not even know how to blush. Therefore they shall fall among those who fall. At the time that I punish them, they shall be cast down, says the Lord. You shall not have in your bag differing weights, a large and a small. You shall not have in your house differing measures, a large and a small. You shall have a full, and just weight. You shall have a full, and just measure, that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord your God gives you. Differing weights and differing measures, both of them are abominable to the Lord. If there is a man who marries a woman, and her mother, it is immoral. Both he and they shall be burned with fire, so that there will be no immorality in your midst. But for the cowardly, and unbelieving, and abominable, and murderers, and immoral persons, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars, their part will be in the lake that burns with fire, and brimstone, which is the second death. The graven images of their gods you are to burn with fire. You shall not covet the silver or the gold that is on them, nor take it for yourselves, where you will be snared by it, for it is an abomination to the Lord your God. You shall not bring an abomination into your house, and like it come under the ban. You shall utterly detest it, and you shall utterly abhor it, for it is something banned. For whoever does any of these abominations, those persons who do so shall be cut off from among their people. But on that day I will set apart the land of Goshen, where my people are living, so that no swarms of flies will be there, in order that you may know that I, the Lord, am in the midst of the land. For everyone who does these things, everyone who acts unjustly is an abomination to the Lord your God. There are 6 things which the Lord hates, yes, 7 which are an abomination to him. The devising of folly is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to men. he who justifies the wicked, and he who condemns the righteous. Both of them alike are an abomination to the Lord. And they shall be abhorrent to you. You may not eat of their flesh, and their carcasses you shall detest. For 6 days work may be done, but on the 7th day you shall have a holy day, a Sabbath of complete rest to the Lord. Whoever does any work on it shall be put to death. But whatever is in the seas and in the rivers that does not have fins, and scales among all the teeming life of the water, and among all the living creatures that are in the water, they are detestable things to you.